Hello students, I'm back with another video. In this video, we'll be discussing about the second chapter of 10th class, which is Ideas of Development. I hope the textbook is in front of you while I'm going through this chapter. And I hope you guys read the textbook as we are going on. So first, let us go through the first paragraph. We all have many aspirations about what we would like to do and how we would like to live, isn't it? Someone needs to have a plan on what their life is supposed to be, their lifestyle is supposed to be. It is different from one person to another person. It doesn't mean that my ideology will be same as some other's ideology. For example, a rich man's idea would be, I need to have 10 cars, or I need to have 15 buildings, or I need to have workers, and he needs to spend a large amount of money on growing his businesses. At the same time, a person in a small village would have his ideas that he needs to feed his family, he needs to grow his crops, he needs to use fertilizers on his crops, he needs to get subsidies for those fertilizers as well. That is the development ideology of a poor person, or a farmer, or a person with a lower income. And at the same time, the rich people would have their own ideas of development. How can they expand their businesses, how can government give special economic zones for them to expand, and so on. So the government should think about everyone. The government should also know how to spread the equality, how to aspire people to be happy in their life. Certain countries like Sweden and Scandinavian countries have a index which they can calculate how happy their people are in their country. That's the idea of development of that country, where us Indians have gradually thought about GDP, thought about bringing a large amount of national income, increasing per capita income, and growing into a economical power. Did India forget the development ideologies of the poor people, or are they just thinking about the rich people? So let us just jump into this chapter and answer some of the questions which we asked. We have ideas about development, what a country should be like, what are the essential things that we require. What do we require in a country? We need equality of income, we need equality in growth of everyone's ideas. Can life be better for all? Can you imagine a life where everyone is rich, where everyone have basic income, where everyone has a shelter, a good clothes to wear, and a basic income where they can fill their stomach? So is this possible? Can there be more equality? Actually, this topic needs to be much more concentrated, where human beings are like, isn't it? Human beings are greedy. Human beings wants to be better than the other. We are competitive human beings. That's in our nature. At the same time, we also need to think that certain people need help for them to push into that area where they could just develop more. So the capitalistic ideologies certain people have thought about, it only brought innovation. Bringing more innovation was the only thing that capitalism did. And at the same time, some would debate that capitalism has created large amount of inequalities in the economy as well. That is because of human greed. And capitalists actually, they justify their growth by saying that it is a win-win option for everyone. I get a large amount of money, and you get a benefit of getting my goods which is available to you, isn't it? So development involves thinking about these questions and about the ways in which we can work towards achieving these goals. This is a complex task, and in this chapter we shall take an effort to understand development. As I discussed earlier, it's very complex. My thought process will be different than everyone else, how can I bring a development which actually makes everyone happy? And that is very difficult. But in fewer grounds, such as basic income, should everyone get at least a good home to live, a good car to drive, and a good education for their children, as well as bring a better growth for them, so that they could save a little money and increase their travel from one country to another country and grow the world income itself. So let us go into this topic. If you see the textbook, you can notice that there are few boxes over there. Let us try to imagine what development or process is likely to mean to different people listed in the table 1. What are their aspirations? You will find some columns are partially filled. Try to complete the table. You can also add any other category of persons. So in this, there are few which are already filled out by the textbook people. Landless rural laborers, more days of work and better wages, that's what they want, that's their aspiration. Local school that is able to provide quality education for the children, no social discrimination, and they too can become leaders in the village. That's their aspiration. They want to just do get a better education and don't no need to have any caste discrimination as well. Prosperous farmers, assured high family income through higher support prices for their crops and through hard working and cheap laborers, should be able to settle their children abroad. So rich people think that I want to have better aspirations, they want to go abroad, they want to earn more money, whereas rural people would just think that I just need food on the table, at the same time better education. Those are basic amenities and basic things that everyone should get. So how does government make sure that these people are happy? They categorize them into different classes on the basis of their income, such as landless rural laborers would be getting pensions. They would be getting free schools where they can just go and give education for their children for free, and they also give a large amount of benefits such as free food in that schools as well, so that they could come into the society. What about discrimination? The rural people also get a special privileges. I don't call it special privileges, but a certain places where they can excel. For example, you have a caste of people in Telangana who recently got a large amount of benefits for their fisheries. So those caste people got a large amount of benefits because they try to uplift that sector of those people. Prosperous farmers, and here prosperous farmers want to get much more richer. So governments, they ask government to give them more loans so that they could buy more land, so that they could get richer. And they also send their children for better schools and better colleges where they make sure that he can go and settle somewhere else other than India. So that's the mindset of people. And I remember sending you students that box and asking you to fill it. So ask yourself and ask your friends and discuss what their aspirations are and what your aspirations could be. If you are in the class, I would have asked what are your aspirations. If you have any aspirations, and we shall discuss in the comments. So comment down below and we shall discuss what aspirations you have and how can we achieve it, and how government is thinking about to achieve that. I hope so. So next page. So I hope you guys are in front of the textbook and reading it at the same time. Having filled up the table 1, let us now examine it. Do all the persons have the same notion of development progress? Absolutely not. It's impossible. It's impossible. Maybe a group of people would think that I want to get a Lamborghini, or I want to get a Ferrari, or I just want to get a bike at least. Isn't it? That development and the progress of their development is quite different. They might need a better road. Some need at least a electricity in their home. At least they need free electricity in their field or something. Those developments and their notion of development will be different. Each one of them seeks different things. They seek things that are most important for them, that is, which can fulfill their aspirations or desires. In fact, at times two persons or group of person may seek which are conflicting, isn't it? Some people want more money, some people want basic income so that they could add more tax to the rich people so that they could get poor people can get their basic necessities. So this is a large conflict. The rich people want to get much more richer by decreasing the taxes, but poor people want to increase their taxes so that the poor people can at least get basic amenities, isn't it? So it is like taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Some people think it is a Robin Hood idea, isn't it? And some people don't like that notion. A girl expects as much freedom and opportunity as a brother, and that he also shares the responsibilities in the household work. Her brother may not like this. Similarly, to get more electricity, industrialists may want construction for more dams, isn't it? The industrialists who have a large amount of money, they need to get more electricity, so they demand the government to build more dams. The industrialists also ask the government to build more dams so that they could get electricity for cheaper. They need coal refineries and oil refineries, and also much more better roads so that their customers can be much more satisfied, and so on. But this may submerge the land and dispute and disrupt the lives of people who are displaced, such as the tribals and farmers. They might resent this and may just want small check dams or tanks to irrigate their lands. So here they have an example where a construction of dams is creating problem for the poor people, where the rich people could richer if they construct the dams, whereas poor people will lose their lands if they construct the dams. So it's not win-win for everyone. So they just need check dams and they need some canals so that the industrialists can also be happy. But it's not satisfactory. So the government would just buy out those lands from the rich poor people and just send them to city. At a point of time, Chidambaram also sent a large amount of poor people from Bihar, where a industrialist company called Vedanta was actually digging out and mining iron ore. At that point of time, the government really pushed the tribals out of the jungles so that this industrial company can make more iron ore and bring development for the country, increase the national income as well, isn't it? So these conflicts are quite disturbing to hear, but it's happening all the time because of the conflicts. So here, what should a society do? As a social teacher, what should I tell my student to do in this kind of scenarios where the conflicts of poor people are major, where there are no advantages for the poor people? So we should raise our voice when this kind of situation arise. For example, right now as we are speaking in 2020, there is a farmers bill which is going to monopolize that sector, and large amount of farmers are coming on the streets and protesting, and actually today they are on the way to Delhi and they are also cannoned by water as well. So these conflicts are what we see on the news, isn't it? And the core sector of people actually ignore the fact which is going to happen. There is no participation. That is what's happening. Even though we are connected a lot, we are very far apart. That's a nice quote. Next. So think about the development, think about all this, and we will continue this chapter in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.